Good evening, viewers. I keep forgetting to say like, share, and follow on my videos, and people are constantly reminding me to do so. So please like, share, and follow the video or any videos that you see that I have posted. I know it's been some time since I've posted any content, and I have, oh my god, there's been so much going on. I'll have to get some stuff done and sorted out, but I wanted to come on this evening and speak about the department, which is now known as the Department of Financial Assistance, DFA, formerly Needs Assessment Unit, NAU. Every time I get in front of the camera. So I received a message this evening. I wanted to talk about this topic for some time now, but kept putting it off, and so I received a message this evening, and it was from property management company, and so it was talking about speaking with agents and landlords of properties that are managed by agents or property management companies, something to that effect, and how I wasn't told how many agents or agencies were spoken to. I was told, I'm going to read the message in part, the parts that I figure is most important, and I'm not sure if this is, I guess it's recording, right? But in any case, I was a bit disappointed to get the message this evening, and so I said, you know what, now is the time to speak about this. And so first I want to say, sometimes I'm not sure who to advocate for, but nevertheless, what I feel is the right thing to do is to advocate for fairness and equal opportunity. And that's what I have been endeavoring to do whenever I post videos, just to inform the public or viewers and to advocate and be an activist and advocate for fairness and equal opportunity in the Cayman Islands. First and foremost, my Caymanian people, of course, and then anyone else who lives and resides in the islands. And so that is what I have endeavored to do. And just in the last few weeks, I posted some content where I was speaking to tenants and trying to put some things into perspective and explaining some things to viewers who may be tenants on island of how they should try to the outlook they should try to have, or the points of views, or try to clarify some things that landlords or property managers may try to enforce on the properties. And then I was also encouraging landlords to perhaps get property management companies or agents to help them market their properties and choose tenants that are, you know, agreeable to their properties. That in no way means to be discriminatory against persons. Now, I've been advocating for the government also to try to implement or pass some form of anti-discrimination law in regards to rentals. That could fall under, now, anti-discrimination laws could pertain to race, culture, creed, status, ability, physical ability, those sorts of things. But that could be, I don't think there's any because I haven't seen any, but that could be a standalone law, or some of those things could be included in the up and coming residential tenancies amendment that is before the government. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. Me, myself, have been advocating for changes in landlord and tenancies laws since the early 2000s. I have proof of that. It is something that's very close to my heart. I believe in equal opportunity and fairness for all, but especially first and foremost my Caymanian people, but also, like I said, anyone living and residing in the Cayman Islands, thereafter, or in conjunction, however you want to put it. So in saying this, when I received this message today, I was taken aback because the message said, it sounds like the agency or the person has spoken to a number of agencies or agents of rental properties, and I'm going to read the message, but I was quite disappointed. It seems there is some boycotting, I'm going to use that word mildly, by rental agencies and agents against assistance from the Department of Financial Assistance, DFA, formerly Needs Assessment Unit, NAU. That is all I can come up with. Now, I have been advocating to support the rental market, period. And that means for tenants to take care of properties, be treated fairly, but they have to do their share. And that also means that landlords are treated fairly and taken into consideration. So both parties, both sides have to be treated equally. And as I said, I did 2 videos on these issues some weeks ago, and they're on my social media page. I know, I can't remember what dress that or what attire I was wearing, but I tried to wear something so I can say to someone, oh, go back and look for my video with me in a black and white long sleeve shirt that's collar high up and that sort of thing, and black pants, right? So they're easily identifiable and not have to be scrolling through all of my videos if they don't want. But let me say this, right? I'm going to read the message first. I'm going to read this message first. Okay, so partially of what the message said, but none of the owners are open to renting to someone without income. Please allow me to explain. I have spoken with the agents and or owners for the listings I have found. When asked regarding rent payments and employment, I have explained unique circumstances regarding the DFA allowance. But I have been turned down by all. My apologies. I didn't keep count of the people I spoke with because I am currently dealing with 23 rental seekers, and I was asking for several different clients under a variety of parameters. So, the person who shared this with me was basically saying they reached out to agencies and our landlords and was making inquiries and saying that basically 23 clients use DFA assistance. And so, excuse me, there's mold in my apartment. And I understand from complaints from other tenants, some tenants have mold in their apartments too, and nothing's being done about it. So that's one thing I want to encourage landlords and rental agencies and management companies: maintain the air conditionings in the properties, please, so people do not get sick or get allergic to their property, what's in the air conditioning. So, sharing that message, I want to say this, right? The Department of Financial Assistance caters to different clients. They don't only cater to rude and unruly and messy and untidy tenants who has children that they don't want to control or can't control, or who smokes marijuana and drink alcohol and argue and fuss and fight. Those are not the only clients that the department assists. The department assists the disabled, the elderly, the handicapped, and some other discrepancy persons with assistance. The department's assistance can range from short term, a month, going up for years. What the department does, as far as my understanding from reading their website, is that depending on your circumstances is how your assistance is approved. And that assistance could be long-term, as well as it could be short-term, as well as it could be assistance that is periodically reviewed, depending on the client's background and circumstances. So, when landlords and rental agents and management companies say that they do not want to take, and it's no longer NAU for viewers, it's DFA, Department of Financial Assistance. When property owners or managers say they don't want to take NAU, they need to bear this in mind. NAU, DFA, whatever it's called, or you guys want to call it, does not only take a certain characteristic of clientele. They use the characteristics, the background, the circumstances of the client to give the assistance. You realtors, you property owners, you landlords, you have to be mindful of this. You cannot simply, let me rephrase that. Not that you cannot. You shouldn't. And many of you are Caymanians. Why I suggested, and it looks like this has backfired, why I suggested, or why realtors and management companies and landlords may have seen my video, or maybe it was already in play, that they have taken this stance, right? That they don't want to take DFA assistance. You should interview clients on their own merit, not because they get assistance from the department. I'm sorry, it's the mold in my apartment. It is really annoying my nose. Let me explain something. Some realtors and agents that I have been in touch with have said to me they have been working with the department for years. Some of them no longer want to work with the department. And that this baffles me, because you know what? The department has actually improved. It has actually improved. We have our now Premier, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, to thank for that, because under his ministry, with the last government, the last administration, he was the minister responsible for social development, as far as I can remember, yes. He renamed the department. A bigger space was approved, so they moved from the little smaller space to the back of where they are right now to a bigger space, a much bigger and more improved space. They've hired different staff, more staff, and they answer their phones more often. A lot of good things have changed. The Honorable Andre Ebanks resigned, and then we have to give credit where credit is due, and I'm giving the Honorable Andre Ebanks credit because he deserves the credit, him and his ministry and his people. And so he was instrumental in making a lot of changes with that department. I think some of the policies and regulations and procedures and so forth was also brought up to date. And so he resigned. Minister at the time, Minister Kenneth Bryan, who was acting, that ministry was turned over to him shortly. It was just a matter of weeks, I believe. From my understanding, he continued some of the stuff that the Honorable Andre Ebanks had started and was implementing and was journeying along. So the department has certainly come a long ways. And the complaints and the excuses to say that it used to take it takes 60 to 90 days, 2 months, 3 months to get assistance. I have found, and I know people right now, that that is not correct. The department relies to complete applications in a timely manner. As far as I am aware, it relies on the client getting the information back to them on a timely basis, in a timely manner. That means as soon as possible to them, for them to complete applications and get assistance, approved or not, so the client will know what the outcome is. Now, the agents and the landlords cannot fault DFA for this. You have to speak. Number one, I think you should interview clients, size clients up, give clients an opportunity, because you don't know someone until you see their presentation, meet them in person, and get acquainted with them. You learn a lot about someone like that, not just talking to them on the phone and listening to how they sound. You meet someone in person. Everybody deserves an opportunity to meet with anyone that is responsible for a rental property and have an opportunity to present themselves as a potential tenant, right? So if that tenant has applied to DFA for assistance and they haven't timely processed their paperwork or given all the documents that they need to give the department, that is a holdup. One of the things that I know, as far as I know, is that the Honorable Andre Ebanks endeavored that the department would be more timely in processing applications, and I have seen that happen. I am aware, as far as I am aware, is that it takes a minimum or a maximum, it can take up to 21 days or 30 days, but I was given the number of 21 days for applications to be processed once everything is in place. Now, this is hard for rentals because the market is weak. There's not enough rentals to go around, so the rates are very high. They're renting any and every place. People are parting off their houses and parting off bedrooms and renting bed space. All kinds of, let me tell you, all kinds of crazy stuff is going on in Cayman right now with rentals, right? But that's besides the point for the Department of Financial Assistance. It is not fair, it is not right, it is not affording equal opportunity for Caymanians and persons who want to rent on this island, that boycotting, that's what I'm calling it, boycotting the assistance of DFA, point blank, outright. It is not fair and it is not right, and I call upon government to get involved in this and speak to these agencies. I know I advocated for agencies and management companies for landlords, especially bigger property owners, right? Like 5 units and over or something like that. If someone has a 1 bedroom or 1 unit or 1 room or something, they can handle that by themselves. But for more property and more number of properties, yes, get a management company or an agency. But now what these agencies are doing, or agents are doing, is discouraging landlords to not accept NAU, DFA. And it's not right, it's not fair. The department caters to a variety of clients. And let me say something very important, is that if the department gives short-term assistance of 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, and that scares you guys, let me tell you, you can rent to someone who's employed and they can lose their job the next day after they move into the property. They can lose their job a month later. They can lose their job 6 months later, 1 year later. It's the same thing. Matter of fact, government assistance is more guaranteed than anything else. Because if someone loses their job, they still can't pay their rent. They have to look for another job. So saying and boycotting, because that's what I'm calling it, boycotting the Department of Financial Assistance is just foolish, foolhardy. And so I call on government to speak to the agents, and I don't know how you're going to do it. You know, the Honorable Ralston Ebanks and the government and everybody in the parliament was agreeable, I mean strongly agreeable, to approve funds. Not Ralston, well, Ralston, the Honorable Ralston Anglin and the Honorable Isaac Rankin too, I believe, because that's Isaac, Mr. Rankin's ministry. The whole parliament was eagerly giving their eyes and eyes and eyes and eyes and eyes to approve funding to go to this department to assist Caymanians, needy Caymanians, disabled Caymanians, elderly Caymanians, indigent Caymanians, Caymanians with children, Caymanians without children. You understand? So it is really unfair for you agents to do that. And you probably don't want to rent to me either because I do this, but I have made videos in your favor. I have made videos in the landlord's favors, in the real estate agents' favors, the property management favors. Go back and look on my page. I always have these are identifying words on the front of my videos to identify what the video is about. So go back and look on my page. It is really wrong to do. It is discriminatory. You have the right to rent to whoever you want to rent to, and to review and decide what you're going to accept for income or not. But government assistance is more sure than an employment. I don't understand. So I leave you with this, guys, because I think I've said enough about this for the night, that agencies, agents, property management companies, and landlords, just about 90% of your adverts is saying no NAU, and you're being unfair because you should give applicants an opportunity for you to meet them. It's your job. That's what you got into that market to do. It's your job. And you that are landlords got into the rental business not only to please yourself or make money for yourself, but in order to meet a need in the community of presenting properties for rent. And we need them, and we're thankful to you for doing that, for thinking, let me rent out a room, or let me create an apartment onto my property, or whatever you guys are doing. Those that are buying properties and renovating them and renting them over. And think not just think about not to only think about what best benefit you can get from renting, but also think about the people out there that are in need and not in your position. That they have a need too, and a need that you can meet at an affordable rate, even though cost of ECC, you see, has gone up again. I know that. Gas has gone up. I know that. But we have to have a balance. We have to have a balance. And remember, what you put out into the universe, into life, what you reap is what you sow, and what you do and live according to other people, your generation and your lineage will have to get that reaping. I'm trying to put it so people can understand in plain language what I'm saying. So it's not all about making money and you know, that sort of thing. That's not all life is about. And right now in Cayman is very expensive. Yes, so we all have to think, not be greedy and try to milk the cow for everything that can be milked for. You know, our parliamentarians, God bless their souls, in their jobs when we're sleeping and resting at nights. I know many of them are still in parliament, or they're in cabinet, or they're up in their homes and their families have gone to bed and had nothing to do with them for days and weeks on end, sometimes months. Like how parliament is coming up at the end of this month. Now that's what they're doing. Many of them are holed up somewhere meeting and making sure they get things done right and what they're going to present to the House. You know, every single person that lives and resides in this island should be paying attention to Parliament when it's in session. They have a YouTube channel, the Cayman Islands government. You have to know what's going on in this country and what's changing and what's not changing. And I hope the government will see this video and try to make a difference, try to do something about what's happening with the rental market and these properties not wanting to take Department of Financial Assistance. Thank you very much for listening. I think I'm going to come with something else. Again, remember to like, share, and follow. I'm not getting paid for this. I'm not making any money off of this. I'm just doing it as a community service to people who watch. So, especially my Caymanian people, I notice a lot of you, you'll tell me on the streets, oh, I watched your video, I listened to you, but I don't see your name popping up anywhere. And it looks bad that you're not liking and following and sharing to support, but you're paying attention to my contents. Do the right thing. And again, landlord, realtor, real estate agents, real estate agencies, also do not try to discourage your landlord clients from accepting DFA assistance. DFA is not taking as long as it used to do years ago. And obviously many of you should become acquainted or reacquainted with the department. Call and ask questions, email and ask questions. I'm sure Miss Tamara, I can't remember her last name now, very, very open lady. I've spoken to her once or twice, very, very approachable, open lady. There's other staff members there, senior staff members. You can call and ask and say, hey, I'm a landlord or a realtor, real estate agent. I have some questions. What are you guys doing these days that we can try to work with for tenants? Thanks very much and have a good evening.